And welcome tonight. A few days after its relocation to the nation's capital, Edo Governorship Election Tribunal begins formal sitting in the Federal Capital Territory. Nigeria Police Force arrests 751 suspects over cybercrime and computer-based cases. Federal government announces plan to beef up security around the nation's borders to curb the influx of irregular migrants. And White House Press Secretary says President Donald Trump's move to pause government spending is about being good stewards of tax dollars.
In our business, Central Bank approves waiver of non-refundable license renewal fee for bureau de change operators.
On sports news tonight, African Footballer of the Year Ademola Lookman will miss Atlanta's Champions League clash at Barcelona Wednesday night after the Nigerian star suffered a knee injury in training.
And from Abuja, the nation's capital, President Bola Tinubu
of the Democratic Party and its candidate Asuego Dalo, challenging the outcome of the governorship election in Edo State, has begun formal hearing. The hearing comes 4 days after the relocation of the tribunal from Benin, the Edo State capital. At the hearing today, the star witness for the PDP, Mr. Osei Aneni, alleged widespread irregularities in 765 polling units during the election. Our correspondent, Emanuela Ekele, reports.
It's the resumed hearing of the Edo Governorship Election Tribunal in the nation's capital, Abuja, after it relocated from Benin City over the weekend. Counsel to other parties in the suit filed by the People's Democratic Party and its governorship candidate, Asuego Dalo, seeking to nullify the outcome of the governorship election, are present here. They exchange pleasantries while they await the arrival of the three-member panel led by the chairperson, Wilfred Bochi. At the day's proceedings, the prosecution witness 12, who is also the lead witness, Mr. Osei Aneni, told the tribunal that though there were a total of 4,519 polling units in Edo State, the PDP and its candidates are challenging results from about 765 polling units. While answering questions under cross-examination, Mr. Aneni, who told the tribunal that he served as the Director of Research and Strategy for the PDP, admitted that he could not visit all the polling units during the election. He told the tribunal that most of the evidence the petitioners relied on were based on reports that were submitted by agents and experts. He further told the tribunal that most of the copies of the results that the agents of the party made available to him at the Situation Room were not signed. Mr. Aneni, however, maintained that if lawful votes that were cast at the election were sincerely collated, Mr. Ighodalo would have emerged victorious. While answering questions from the counsel to the governor, Onyechi Peazu, the witness admitted that though they did not have physical access to the BVOS machines that were used for the election, they, however, got some screenshots of it, which they had tendered in evidence. He said that they had since subpoenaed INEC to make the machines available before the tribunal. While being cross-examined by counsel to the APC, Mr. Emmanuel Ukala, the witness confirmed that he was not trained by INEC to play any role during the election. Its results was handed over to him personally by agents of the party. The tribunal also expressed their dissatisfaction at the PDP over their failure to produce more witnesses. Counsel to the PDP, Adetunji Oyeyipo, informed the tribunal that some of the party's witnesses could not testify due to travel disruptions. He further sought the indulgence of the tribunal to present additional witnesses at the next sitting. Acknowledging the disruption, the tribunal chairperson, Wilfred Bochi, adjourned the hearing to Thursday, 30th January, for the continuation of proceedings. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
Staying with the courts, this time in Oyo State, where the quest by the state government to get justice for the 35 miners who lost their lives in last December's stampede in Ibadan continues, as the 3 accused persons still face litigation despite their bail. The former wife of the Oni of Ife, Naomi Shilekunla, an Ibadan-based broadcaster and chairman of a radio station, Oriyomi Hamzat, and the principal of Islamic High School, Bashoru, Abdullahi Fasasi, appeared before the Chief Magistrate Court in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The case, which was scheduled for petition mention on Monday, January the 27th, was adjourned till March the 24th by the Chief Magistrate. The defendants face 4 charges related to conspiracy, murder, manslaughter, and negligence in connection with the deaths of 35 children during the stampede at the Christmas Fun Fair held in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, on December the 18th, 2024. To security now, troops of 1 brigade of the Joint Task Force Operation Fatsanyama, in collaboration with the operatives of Department of State Services, have intercepted a cache of arms in Kaura Namoda local government area of Zamfara State. A statement by the head of Joint Media Coordinator Center, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, says the operation, conducted on January the 27th, 2025, was based on intelligence regarding suspected arms dealers operating from Niger Republic. He adds that the troops launched a covert operation to track the suspects, resulting in a pursuit along Kauran Namoda Zurmi Road. Meanwhile, troops are still actively pursuing a wanted terrorist, Bello Turji, who remains at large. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force has announced the arrest of 751 cybercrime suspects, with computer-related fraud emerging as the most prevalent crime. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the Force Public Relations Officer, Mr. Olumuyiwa Adejobi, says in response to increasing cases of cybercrimes, the Nigeria Police Force National Cybercrime Center is working towards tackling digital financial crimes to ensure Nigeria exits the Financial Action Task Force grey list.
As part of the broader efforts to combat financial crimes and exchange the integrity of Nigeria's financial system, the National Cybercrime Center has played a crucial role in tackling digital financial crimes. The rise of online fraud and cybercrime activities poses significant threats to both national security and the global reputation of Nigeria's financial networks. In response to this challenge, the Center has made remarkable strides over the past year in addressing these issues and disrupting criminal activities in the digital space. The Center's achievements include the arrest of 751 cybercrime suspects with computer-related fraud, emerging as the most prevalent crime. Among these arrests, the Center has secured 14 convictions, reflecting its strong track record in holding perpetrators accountable. Additionally, through extensive investigations into digital financial networks, the Center has successfully traced and seized illicit funds totaling 8,821,881 naira 80 kobo.
Staying with security, residents of a Chakor community where 5 persons were abducted are calling on the Federal Capital Territory Administration to intervene in the security and infrastructure challenge in the area. On Monday, January the 27th, 2025, 3 men, a woman and a child were abducted by armed men disguised as vigilantes in the area. The residents also lamented the poor state of the road and its impact on security in the area. Our correspondent, Kobi Abuluwadi, reports.
This is Chakor community in Buari Area Council, the latest community to record abductions by gunmen. The road leading to the community is dusty and bumpy. Residents of the community are still coming to terms with the incident as they lead Channels television crew to the house where the incident occurred.
Good afternoon. Are you the secretary? Yes.
This is the first house that was attacked. 4 persons were abducted from this house.
I was inside, I was here, the gate was shaking very well. I said, this is not be breeze. I quickly come through the window, look out. I now see somebody that is try to jump inside. So the remaining people start to enter. 2 people will stand here, point that side with gun. One stand around this place. He was turning around. They are say, any person that you come out, let's shoot. So I've tell my wife, say, I know say my own, when those people come, I know say my own don't finish. May she take care of my children.
Officials of the community lament the absence of security, highlighting the poor road infrastructure in the area.
We've been having some challenges security-wise, and each time we call for help will always come, but normally it will come late because the road is not usable. It's not, before they will not come, say the road is bad. It's even better now that there's no rain, but when there is rain, it's completely unusable. We should be having close to 40,000 people residing here.
As a community, we have tried to set up a place for the police post, but we have not been able to get deployment.
The issue of insecurity in this environment is as a result of the road.
In this second house, one person was adopted.
I dey sleep na one boy God touch me like this before I stand up. They do that thing what they do for here. They do a finish before he call start me for bed. As he start me as I stop, I no see my go for bed. Now see he call carry gum touch me for head. So I don't tire. That wahala where they judge me back. Guy, God. God go help me. I know anybody. I beg you.
See, for your head, they cry, your head would pay you more.
Take help to carry my back.
Meanwhile, a statement by the Federal Capital Territory Police Command spokesperson, Josephine Ade, says the command has commenced a comprehensive search and rescue operation towards the safe recovery of the abducted victims and apprehension of the perpetrators. The abduction of 5 members of this community has left many residents living in fear. And among other things, they are asking the federal government to come to their aid to fix the deplorable state of the roads. Kumbi Aboluwade, Channels Television News.
The federal government has announced plans to further strengthen security around the nation's borders to curtail the influx of irregular migrants. Speaking at a media party in Abuja with heads of agencies under the Ministry of Interior, the Minister Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo also announced that the federal government raked in approximately 2.4 billion by its marriage registry in 2024.
Heads of agencies under the Ministry of Interior are gathered here for the first media interaction hosted by the minister.
In 2025,
the Permanent Secretary kickstarts the event with a welcome address.
In this new year, as we begin, what we've been able to achieve in 2024 before you, and also what we intend to do in 2025. The challenges we face are significant, but we also have opportunities. And we look at the fact that together we can foster a safer, more secure and inclusive environment for all citizens.
Reeling out the achievements of the ministry in the last 1 year, the minister announced an increase in revenue generation through marriage contracts and issuance of expiratory quota certificates.
I'm happy to tell you that the revenue that accrued to government increased by over 150%, due to the optimization of that particular solution. And for instance, in expatriate quota last year, the government was able to realize about 3.2 billion naira from expatriate quota alone. And of course, this is not about just giving quota. It means that it's not a function of approval, it's a function of application, it's a function of requisition, not necessarily approval. So,
strengthening the nation's border security and ease of doing business is also germane to the federal government.
A total of over 10,783 personnel in the last 2 years, 2023 and 2024, has been recruited. This is not just about bringing people on board. It's about helping our national security architecture. It's about prioritizing the security of Nigerians by the president now, getting more boots on ground to be able to protect lives and property.
The federal government is reiterating its commitments to contain and curtail the influx of irregular migrants into the country as part of efforts to secure the nation.
In part two, after the break, Central Bank of Nigeria announces the commencement of verification to clear all outstanding foreign exchange backlog as it launches its Forex code. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. A few days after its relocation, election for a tribunal begins formal sitting in the Federal Capital Territory. Nigeria police force arrests 751 suspects over cybercrime and computer-based cases. Federal government announces plan to beef up security around the nation's borders to curb the influx of irregular migrants. And White House Donald Trump's move to pause government spending is the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, has announced that forensic verification to clear all pending foreign exchange backlogs are now completed and payments will commence soon. Speaking at the launch of the foreign exchange code in Abuja, Mr. Cardoso laments how it took the bank over 12 months to clear the $7 billion foreign exchange backlog in 2024. The Apex Bank boss also says the era of multiple exchange rates is gone, and all deposit money banks who flout the ethics of the foreign exchange code will face sanctions. Central Bank Governor and management staff of the Apex Bank, as well as heads of commercial banks, converge on this hall to commence a process that will lead to a more transparent and accountable foreign exchange regime.
The code represents a decisive step forward, setting clear and enforceable standards for ethical conduct, transparency, and good governance in our foreign exchange market. It is a firm signal that business as usual will no longer suffice.
The Apex Bank explains that it is more than ready to clear up all backlogs of foreign exchange and continue with its monetary policy reforms.
As an example, the $7 billion of FX backlogs that has taken 12 months to verify has led to the discovery of multiple unethical and even illegal practices that we should not be proud of as a nation. The forensic verification process is now near complete, and final settlements will be processed. Similarly, the period of unprecedented ways and means financing inflicted significant damage on our economy.
The Foreign Exchange Code is hinged on 6 basic principles. They include ethics, governance, execution, information sharing, risk management practice, and compliance, as well as confirmation and settlement process.
And beyond traders.
The central bank is clear about the new rules, which is to bring sanity to foreign exchange operations in the country.
We expect that there's be a connection with relevant internal business areas and a particular project group identified to ensure comprehensive involvement of all relevant stakeholders. Third is to identify all the relevant FX activities and determine which principles are applicable.
Access Bank.
After the speeches, bank executives step out to append their signatures on the new code. The expectation is that there will be strict compliance to foreign exchange operations in the country.
foreign exchange market.
The news at 10 continues now in our Abuja studios, where Malwe Ogun-Yusuf is standing by. Hello, Malwe.
Hello, Anne. We'll start off right here in the Federal Capital Territory, which President Bola Tinubu has returned to after attending the Africa Heads of State and Tanzania. The president's plane landed at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at about 7:40 p.m. this evening. Just before leaving Dar es Salaam, President Tinubu reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to providing reliable, affordable and sustainable electricity to its unelectrified population by 2030. A high point of the event was the presidential endorsement of the Dar es Salaam Declaration by African leaders, which is focused on providing access to electricity for 300 million people in Africa by 2030. According to the statement by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu acknowledged the $1.1 billion from the African Development Bank, expected to provide electricity for 5 million people by the end of 2026, while its $200 million in Nigeria Electrification Project will provide electricity for 500,000 people by the For re-echoing the president's promise is the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, who says the administration of President Bola Tinubu is fully committed to empowering industrial clusters across the country in line with its renewed hope agenda of industrialization for economic prosperity. The Vice President, who commissioned a 15-megavolt amp distribution electricity injection substation capable of delivering 12 megawatts of generated power to Borno State, assured residents that both inherited and new power projects to light up Nigeria will be executed by the current administration. And staying with energy, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the NMDPRA, has awarded 10 gas distribution licenses to qualified individuals and organizations. The authority chief executive of the commission, Mr. Farouk Ahmed, who announced the development at a ceremony in Abuja, says the issuance of the gas distribution licenses marks a major milestone in the country's quest to harness the potential of gas as a critical resource for Nigeria's energy transition and economic transformation. Our correspondent, Benny Ark, reports.
The Republic of Nigeria.
The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, is organizing this event to award gas distribution licenses to qualified individuals and organizations in a ceremony attended by top government officials and stakeholders. Prominent among those present at the event include the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, the Authority Chief Executive of NMDPRA, the Deputy Head of Gas, and lawmakers, among others. The event is organized to award gas distribution licenses to qualified applicants as mandated by Section 148 of the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA 2021.
The gas distribution license is a major game changer within the value chain. We visualize that in the next 10-15 years, 5 years, 2 years from now, you do not need cylinders for your LPG at home. The filling stations, what we're experiencing now with virtual truck pipeline, the trucks and the accidents that are happening will go away, because to each mother and daughter station, this will be piped. Reticulations will move to estates, and you can turn on your light and it will be powered by gas.
In his address, the Authority Chief Executive of NMDPRA, Mr. Farouk Ahmed, highlights the scope of the license and benefits.
We appreciate that this license regime shall not only support the accelerated development of our domestic gas market, but that it shall create opportunities for profitable investment for various classes of stakeholders, improve the socio-economic impact of gas resources across Nigeria, and support our national energy transition sectors.
During a speech, the minister highlights the federal government's commitment to the sector, given its numerous opportunities.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR has shown visionary leadership in making today's ceremony possible. The gas industry has expanded rapidly in terms of business opportunities and governmental directive because of Mr. President's crucial provision.
This development is expected to expand Nigeria's domestic gas market, promote energy security, and enhance its economic transformation. Benny Ark, Channels Television News.
Still ahead, Central Bank approves waiver of non-refundable license renewal fee for Bureau de Change operators. That's in business news. Please join us again.
Welcome back. Governors from the South-South region of Nigeria have thrown their weight behind President Tinubu's tax reform bill, emphasizing the need for a fair derivation formula that benefits resource-rich regions. The governors made their position known today in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa level meeting, to deliberate on issues affecting the region.
We are supporting Mr. President on the tax reforms. However, on the issue the derivation on VAT, we are saying that it should be extended to other sectors like the oil and gas. You might ask, but there is already derivation in oil and gas. I thought that was where you were actually going to. And it is 13%. Constitutionally, it is stated that that is the minimum. That is the minimum. And what we are saying is an increase of the 13%. It has been the minimum over the decades, and everything is increasing. The derivation, if VAT 30%, as the case may be, what we are saying also is that derivation of oil and gas should also be increased.
The governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba, has reiterated his call for the enforcement of anti-spill lock on fuel tankers across the country, saying that this disaster arising from tanker spill had become too frequent. Governor Mba restated the call when he received the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Zubaida Umar, and her team, who were in Enugu to flag up the distribution of emergency intervention items to the victims of Saturday's tanker fire incident that claimed many lives.
I also want to use this opportunity again to reiterate my call on the law enforcement agencies to ensure strict enforcement of the anti-spill law on all our petroleum product tankers. It is extremely important. As a state, we have obviously taken steps to ensure that those that were injured were taken immediately to hospitals. We have those that are at the orthopedic hospital, which were catering for their abuse, those at the UNTH, and of course at the Parkland here. Both my Commissioner for Health and my Special Advisor on Health have been on this. This morning I got full briefing from them on the state of the treatment. We're deeply grateful for the support you have also provided, the food items and the medications you've provided. We appreciate that greatly. It also it's a demonstration of the federal government and subnationals in this case Enugu State, and it is a collaboration we want to entrench.
The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has given assurance of completing the second phase of the Blue Rail Line. Governor Sanwo-Olu made this comment at the inauguration of the 4 network of roads at Amuwo-Odofin local government area of the state. It says the phase of the Old Ojo Road will also be constructed to improve vehicular movement within that area, appealing to residents to stop dumping refuse along the road.
It's the turn of Amuwo-Odofin local government area to receive 4 network of roads reconstructed by the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
The governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, and his deputy.
The governor and his deputy join other guests for the formal commissioning of Irede Road, Mumuni Alao Badmus, Navy Town, and Old Ojo Road Phase 1.
In commemoration of the by FCC,
Investment in road infrastructure is one of the priorities of the current administration to improve connectivity and boost economic activities across the state.
These roads improve connectivity and also support intermodal transportation, linking key transportation hubs, including the jetties and bonded terminals in the area. Together, these projects are part of the broader infrastructural vision that aligns with the Teams Plus agenda, especially in the areas of transportation and traffic management.
Over the years, residents of Momoniadio, Badmus, Irede, Navy Town and Old Ojo community had a tough time commuting from one location to the other. But now they have a better story to tell.
I just want to thank Mr. Governor for this wonderful project you've given us. There's so many things in Amuwu Odofin and Badagry that need your attention. One of the things that I want to also ask Mr. Governor is for the completion of our Lagos-Badagry route, because it is a hellhole in itself.
Representing the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly is Honorable Desmond Elliott, who urged the people to make good use of the road provided for them.
It is not for container to be parking or articulated vehicles. It's meant for people to move along the road with. It's meant for people to benefit. Please, can we discourage? Own your roads. I speak to all residents, own your roads.
Governor Sanwo-Olu says he's excited to deliver the road projects and gave assurances of delivering the phase 2 of the Blue Line Rail project as well.
And you can begin to see that the rail infrastructure on that phase 2 of the rail project is going on, and is going on very, very well. My prayer is that we all live to see the completion of that phase 2 in no time, so that we can connect waterways infrastructure, we can connect road infrastructure, and we can connect
10.1-kilometer newly reconstructed roads connect the rail component on the Lagos-Badagry Expressway to the Inland Waterways Terminal, with major linkages to residential and commercial areas.
Away from infrastructure, the Department of State Services, the DSS, has successfully apprehended a fleeing gun runner tracked from Niger Republic to Zamfara State. Speaking after the presentation, Governor Lawal commended the DSS and other security agencies for their diligence and professionalism in tracking and capturing the suspect. He emphasized the importance of public cooperation in combating criminal activities, disclosing that the suspect had been under surveillance and was meticulously tracked from Niger Republic into Zamfara State, underscoring the effectiveness of cross-border intelligence collaboration. Let's delve into the world of business now. Will Ebong is standing by.
Thank you, Anne. And the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has approved a waiver of the 2025 license renewal fee for existing Bureau de Change BDCs. The CBN, which made this known today in a statement, says the directive is part of ongoing efforts to implement the new regulatory structure for BDC operations. It notes that BDC operators who have already paid the 2025 renewal fee are advised to apply for a refund. The Apex Bank reaffirms its commitment to promoting transparency and efficiency in the foreign exchange market while ensuring compliance with the revised regulatory framework. Now, over a week since the Nigerian Communications Commission approved a 50% tariff hike for the telecommunication companies, the Chief Executive Officer of MTN Nigeria, Dr. Carl Toriola, says that the implementation has not yet been approved. Dr. Toriola, who made this known during an exclusive interview with Channels Television in Lagos, also said their proposal has been sent to the regulator.
The headlines for the approval were around the overarching tariff increase as approved by the minister. Now we've made our submissions to the NCC. They will go through submissions. They've been going through them in thorough detail to ensure that it's fair to consumers, that no one has an undue competitive advantage, and it will be approved in short order. And we're really being held to task by the authorities on this. With improved cash flow as a result of tariff increases, it gives us the ability to invest, first of all, in a constant supply of diesel and ensuring our sites are kept up. Second is in expanding our network in areas where we have congestion. And third is in putting redundancy into place as well as customer management systems. So we're expected by the authorities to do that within a matter of months. And if we don't, we'll be held to account by them.
Now, in a bid not to be redundant, we started the week bullish. Today, here's Laddie Williams with the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Well, Nigeria stock market closed in the red today. Couldn't continue that strong start we saw to the market yesterday. It's down 0.5% there, 0.50%, losing the 104,000 level, 103,901 points. And yeah, definitely, Nigeria stock market did go a different direction with most of the global markets yesterday, with all of that AI routes in the market. But today, we're seeing the bears back in action right there in Nigeria stock market. Let's look at the market mover today. Yeah, Dangote Cement, after losing that 400 naira level, it's down again today. It's closed at 385 naira. That's for the share price. And for the sectors, we see the banking sector, that was down again, down today, 1.21%. After that strong start from yesterday, I guess that could not continue. 1.21% down, that's for the banking counter. Consumer goods down 0.26%. Then we see lights right there for the oil and gas counter with a good 1.06%. Jump there. I also see the likes of Como Oil and Wando adding to their share prices. So with all of that, that wasn't enough to counter the bears as the bear takes control today.
And that's it on business. It's back to Anne for the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you, Will. Still to come on the news at 10. White House press secretary says President Donald Trump's move to pause government spending is about being good stewards of tax dollars. And that's on a foreign scene. Welcome back. White House press secretary says that President spending is about being good stewards of tax dollars and nothing else. Here's Simon Puser with more on this and other international news around the world in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The United Nations says hundreds of people are wounded and that bodies are lying in the streets of Goma in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo following an advance by M23 rebels on the key city. Water and electricity supplies to the city have been cut off. UN experts and others have long accused neighbouring Rwanda of backing the M23, but Rwanda has consistently denied this. At least 17 foreign peacekeepers have now been killed in clashes with the rebels. South Africans.
It's a geopolitical theater of confrontation between multiple actors. It has strategic mineral resources. People are fighting over the spoils of who controls what. The potential for that conflict sucking in many of the neighboring states is very high. Rwanda is deeply involved in DR Congo. This potentially is a very combustible situation.
US President Donald Trump has called the rise of the Chinese company DeepSeek a wake-up call for the US tech industry after the emergence of its artificial intelligence model triggered shockwaves on Wall Street. Shares in major tech firms such as Nvidia fell sharply, with the chip giant losing almost $600 billion in market value. What has shaken the industry is DeepSeek's claim that its R1 model was made at a fraction of the cost of its rivals, raising questions about the future of America's AI dominance and the scale of investments US firms are planning.
The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser-focused on competing to win.
The Serbian Prime Minister Milos Vučević has resigned following nationwide protests over the deadly collapse of a railway station canopy. Vučević said he had taken the decision in order and so as to not raise further tensions in society. 15 people died in November when a concrete canopy at a railway station collapsed in Novi Sad, Serbia's second largest city.
Do not respond to the language of threat.
Iran says that Israel and America would be crazy to attack its nuclear facilities, adding it would spell a very bad disaster for the region. The warning came in the first interview to be given by Iran's foreign minister since its arch-nemesis Donald Trump's inauguration. In an interview, Abbas Araghchi also mocked the US president for proposing a clean-out of Palestinians from Gaza. Iran's top diplomat suggested instead that Israelis be sent to Greenland. 2 Colombian Air Force planes sent to the US to fetch deported migrants have landed in the capital Bogota. The migrants have been on US military flights headed for Colombia on Sunday when Colombian President Gustavo Petro landing, arguing that those on board were being treated like criminals. The incident took the 2 countries to the brink of a trade war after Donald Trump threatened to impose 25% tariffs on Colombian goods, and Mr. Petro said he would retaliate in kind. An inquest jury has concluded that a helicopter crash in the UK in which 5 people were killed at Leicester City's King Power Stadium was an accident. All on board died in the crash on the 27th of October 2018. On Tuesday, the jury returned a conclusion that the deaths were an accident to the coroner. The US First Lady Melania Trump's new official portrait has been released, shot in the White House one day after her husband was sworn in as president. The black and white photo shows her wearing a dark business suit and white shirt as she rests her hands on a reflective table in the yellow Oval Room. The Washington Monument, which towers over the nation's capital, is seen in the background. And 2 people have been arrested after protesters from Just Stop Oil disrupted a performance of The Tempest in London's West End. A man and a woman from the environmental campaign group climbed onto the stage at Theatre Royal Drury Lane. On Tuesday, police said a 42-year-old woman and a 60-year-old man had been arrested.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.
Well, thank you, Simon. Welcome to Sports News. Bayern Leverkusen manager Xabi Alonso has confirmed Nigeria's Super Eagles striker Victor Boniface is in talks to leave the club in the current window transfer window. Sky Germany have reported Boniface is set for a move to Saudi Arabia club Al Nasri to play alongside Cristiano Ronaldo for a transfer fee in excess of 50 million euros. Boniface arrived in Leverkusen from Belgian side Union Saint-Gilloise 18 months ago for 20 million euros. Then Super Eagles and African Footballer of the Year Ademola Lookman will miss Atlanta's Champions League clash at Barcelona on Wednesday night after the Nigerian star suffered a knee injury in training. The 27-year root forward had hurt the lateral joint in his right knee and would not travel to Spain, where the Italians are aiming to secure direct qualification for the last 16 of the Champions League. Atalanta later added that Lookman would be sidelined for around 3 weeks. A huge loss for Atlanta, as he has scored 14 goals and set up 6 more this season. The Confederation of African Football Executive Committee have confirmed that African Nations Championship, that is CHAN, that has been rescheduled for August this year will hold from the 2nd to the 30th. The Super Eagles Team B have been drawn against Senegal, Congo and Sudan in Group D holding, and Tanzania, Uganda and Kenya. The CAF Executive Committee have resolved to open bidding process for the Under-20 AFCON for 2027, 2029 and 2031, the Under-17 AFCON for 2026, 27 and 28, and the Women's Champions League for 2025, 26 and 27. Pep Guardiola says he's not thinking about the possibility of Manchester City could be knocked out of the Champions League when they face Club Brugge on Wednesday night. The Premier League champions must beat last season's Belgian league winners at the Etihad to progress to the playoff stage, involving teams ranked from 9th to 24th in the league phase.
Situation that we have to an option to win the game, and if not, we will not continue in this competition, and we wanna go through to have another chance to play another 2 games to qualify for the next stages. So it's not a problem, it's an opportunity, a challenge, and we will face it. Been in many years in the Champions League since I started my career as a manager. This type of games I played many times. Sooner or later you have to play this type of games that you win, you go through, you don't win, you are out. But it happened more in further stages, not I would say right now, but we are here for the reasons that we know that we are not good enough.
That's sports. Is back to you, Anne.
Thank you, Chris. And the main news again. A few days after its relocation to the nation's capital, the Edo Governorship Election Tribunal today began formal sitting in the Federal Capital Territory. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Good night.